Hi everyone, in this video we are going to look at something called interpret footage. What it's used for, it gets used for many things, okay, but mainly in slow motion. That's why it's in this part of the course. All right, let's dig in. All right, so the long way and the painful way is I've got this bit of footage here. It's slow motion, let's play it. Okay, it is 24-ish frames per second. Okay, so the slow motion is exposed. This one here in slow motion 3 has all these frames, okay, has 4 times the amount as this one-ish, okay, but it plays back at a regular speed. You see, just like normal speed. 100 frames per second. Ready for my flip? There you go. So it is, the slow motion is trapped inside of here. So it doesn't really matter which way is which. It's just the way it's being output from either the camera or the videographer's decided to kind of remap it afterwards. Either way, let's say you want slow motion too, and you're like, okay, good, I want it to go to, just regular speed. Okay, you right click it and you say speed duration, and then you guess what speed it should be. It's either 50 frames, so you double it. Okay, so 200 times, it might be 60, it might be 100. I've worked out just by trial and error that 4 times the amount of speed, okay, which gives me roughly 100 frames per second is what this was recorded at. I don't know for sure because I don't have the details from the shoot. I wasn't involved with it and I can't find anything for it, so there's a bit of guessing. If you do know a magic way of knowing what the frames per second is, let us know in the comments. But anyway, we've done it and we can happily go about our work. The problem happens is when you've got like the whole photo shoot. So in this case, you see these? I've given you slow motion 2 from one of all of these. Okay, so every single one of them is in slow-mo. So if you're dumping them doing a cut, it's painfully slow. Okay, so what you do is you interpret the footage. So I'm going to call this, actually, I'm just going to delete that sequence. Start again. So O2 now, instead of dumping it in and changing it, what we do is we right click it, okay, we say modify, and we say, I want to interpret this footage. Now, what is interpret footage? It was used originally when it was really in the early days of digital video, okay, lots of codecs and different extensions. Premiere Pro would sometimes get it wrong. It would say, hey, I've imported your MP4 as, a square pixel, but it actually wasn't. The aspect ratio was something else. It was something like this. And you could force it. You could just say, hey, Premiere Pro, good try, but can you reinterpret this footage for me? And I'm gonna try these, and it ended up fixing it. Okay, so I find that happens less and less. Premiere Pro, super good at interpreting the footage on its own, but you can fake it. But if you do have problems, you might come in here, okay, and change with some of the parts. In this case, I want to say, I want you to interpret this 23.9760 PAL. Man, I hate that number. Okay, I want you to just assume it's 100 frames per second, please. Thank you very much. Okay, click OK. You see it's changed here. The frame rate is 100 frames per second. Now if I make a clip from it, okay, it's used my sequence as 100 frames per second. It's trapped in there still. I can slow it down, okay, like I did by going right click and say speed duration, and I can slow it down by half speed. Okay, so I've still got a bit of slow-mo in there, but it's my choice. I can do it later on. Okay, so I start with the regular real-life video and I can slow it down if I need to. I'll end up shooting high frame rates because it kind of looks nicer, but with the idea that, especially B-roll, I'll just shoot everything in like 120 frames per second, even if I don't plan on using it, just so it's there. So I've got it, so the file size is balloon and my editor hates me, but it's in there in case we do want to slow things down. So why is that quicker? It is mainly quicker when you have to do all of these. Let's say we want to dump it all in, and it's just the beginning of a job. You're like, great, it's all slow motion. Let's have a look at a couple of them. They're all slow motion, lots of shots, okay? And instead of going through, dumping them on a timeline and doing it all, okay, you can just right click them all in one big go and say interpret footage. And let's pretend it's 100 and give it a test. All done in once, okay? And yeah, it's quicker, it's easier. If you are only doing 1 or 2 shots, doesn't matter, but interpret footage is good for doing bulk stuff. All right, that is it for interpret footage. Let's jump into the next video.